The grocery store hummed with the usual rush of late afternoon shoppers, carts squeaking, small talk floating between aisles, children tugging at parents' sleeves. But for Maya Thompson, today was about moving quietly, minding her own business, and getting home before the storm forecasted for the evening began to sweep across the city. She walked with a calm grace, her hair tied neatly, wearing her work scrubs from the hospital. Her shift had been long, emotionally draining, but she still carried her gentle composure like a shield. She reached for a box of cereal near the top shelf, stretching on her toes, determined not to bother anyone or ask for help. As she did, her bag brushed lightly against a neatly stacked display of canned soup. One can wobbled, then dropped with a soft metallic thud to the floor. She blinked, startled, then immediately picked it up and placed it back with care. The moment seemed too minor to matter, but someone was watching. A store employee, a tall, irritated man with a badge reading assistant manager Brett, narrowed his eyes at her from the end of the aisle. He'd been in a foul mood all morning, arguing with suppliers, snapping at the cashier, nitpicking every tiny thing, and now he saw her, a tired black woman in hospital scrubs, touching the display he'd arranged perfectly 20 minutes earlier. His irritation sharpened into something uglier. He marched toward her. "Hey," he barked. Maya turned, eyebrows raised. "Sorry, did you need something? What are you doing messing with the merchandise like that?" he demanded. "I saw you knocking things over." "I didn't knock anything over," she said gently. "One can slipped, but I put it right back. Everything's fine." "That's not what I saw." She paused, letting out a controlled breath. "Sir, there must be a misunderstanding. I'm just getting groceries and heading home. There's no problem." But Brett wasn't listening. His voice grew louder, sharp enough to make nearby shoppers glance over. "You people think you can just do whatever you want in here." Maya froze. That phrase, those two words, "you people," her jaw tightened. "That's unnecessary," she said softly. "I haven't done anything wrong." "Oh really?" he sneered, stepping closer. "Then what's in your bag?" Maya blinked in disbelief. "My wallet, my keys, let me see inside." She straightened, her calm slipping. "I'm not showing you anything. I haven't taken anything." "You look nervous," he pressed. "Only guilty people look nervous." "No," she replied, voice steady. "Only people being harassed look nervous." Brett clenched his fist. "If you don't show me your bag, I'll call security." "Go ahead," she said, growing tired of the confrontation. "I know my rights." But instead of calling security, Brett did something reckless. He grabbed her cart and yanked it away. Maya instinctively stepped back, startled. A couple nearby stared, whispering. A child tugged his mother's sleeve, frightened by the raised voices. Before Maya could respond, Brett stormed away, not to get security, but to get someone much worse. Officer Ryan Hale. His patrol unit often parked outside the store for visibility, but everyone knew he liked the attention more than the job. A man with a short fuse and a long history of complaints. He wore his authority like armor, and he wore his biases even more boldly. He stepped into the aisle, boots heavy, jaw set, hand hovering near his holster like it was instinct. "That's her," Brett pointed. "She's stealing. I caught her messing with the displays, hiding stuff in her bag, and now she's refusing to cooperate." Maya stared at the scene unraveling in front of her. "That's not true," she said firmly. "This man is lying." Officer Hale stepped closer, his presence looming like a shadow. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to put your hands where I can see them." "For what?" she demanded, heat rising in her voice. "I didn't steal anything. Ask anyone in this aisle. I've done absolutely nothing." "You're escalating," Hale snapped. "Calm down." "I am calm." His hand moved faster than the collective gasp around them. He drew his gun. Right there in the middle of a grocery store aisle, surrounded by cereal boxes, shopping carts, and unsuspecting families, he raised the weapon, aimed directly at her forehead, and shouted, "Don't move." Maya's world froze. Her breath vanished. Her heart slammed painfully against her ribs as she stared down the dark barrel of the weapon, her mind racing with one thought over and over. Not like this. Please, God, not like this. Shoppers screamed. A woman clutched her daughter and ducked behind a shelf. A man dropped his basket and backed away with trembling hands. A security camera above blinked red, capturing everything. Maya slowly lifted her palms. "Sir, you're making a mistake." "Shut up," Hay barked. "You think you can talk back. You think you can disrespect authority. Show me the bag. Now." This is excessive, Maya cried. You're pointing a gun at an unarmed woman in the cereal aisle. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. Brett stood behind Hale, arms folded smugly, as if enjoying the chaos he'd started. Shaking, Maya raised her voice, her instincts screaming between fear and survival. Someone please record this. And people did. Phones lifted. Cameras aimed. Whispers grew. This is wrong. He's out of control. She didn't do anything. But Officer Hale didn't care about the crowd. He only cared about control. Drop the bag, he ordered. It's just my wallet and keys, she said, tears forming. Please, put the gun down. You don't give me orders, he hissed. The gun stayed aimed. She swallowed a sob. I'm a nurse. I just came from a 12-hour shift. I didn't steal anything. Check your cameras. Ask the other customers. You're threatening my life over nothing. Hale's eyes twitched, his pride boiling. You think you can talk to me like that? You think you can lie to my face? I'm not lying. Last warning, he said, stepping closer. Maya felt her legs tremble. She knew one wrong move, one twitch, one breath too deep, could mean the end. The aisle around her felt miles long, the lights too bright, the silence too loud. Then, like fate itself stepped in, a voice cut through the tension with a cold, commanding force. That's enough. The supermarket fell into a hush. The sound of authority, real authority, echoed down the aisle. A man stepped forward from the crowd, tall, composed, carrying the confidence of someone used to being in charge. He wore a tailored suit, his expression carved from stone. The crowd parted for him, as though instinctively recognizing he was someone who mattered. Officer Hale snapped his attention toward him. Sir, stay back. This is police business. The man didn't flinch, clearly. And you're doing it poorly. Who the hell are you? Hale growled. The man pulled back his jacket just enough for his badge to gleam, a gold federal badge. My name is Special Agent Marcus Reed, Department of Justice. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Hale's face drained of color. Agent Reed stepped closer, unwavering. Put the gun down. She's a suspect, Hale stammered. She's an innocent woman buying groceries, Red cut in sharply. And you're threatening deadly force without cause. Lower your weapon before you lose your badge and your freedom. This isn't your jurisdiction in this moment, Reed said, voice dropping dangerously low. It absolutely is. The aisle went still. Hale's hand twitched. The barrel wavered. Reed took another step forward. Do it now. Something in his expression, calm yet deadly serious, finally broke Hale's facade. Slowly, reluctantly, he lowered the gun. Maya gasped, air flooding back into her lungs. Reed turned to her gently. Are you all right? She nodded shakily, though her body trembled. Thank you. I didn't know what else to do. You did nothing wrong, he assured. He turned sharply toward Hale. Hand me your firearm. Hale hesitated. I now jaw clenched. Hale handed it over. Red unloaded the weapon with a swift, practiced motion. You just assaulted a civilian with deadly force in front of 20 witnesses and 6 security cameras. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a crime. Hale's mouth twitched. I was doing my job. No, Reed said. You were abusing your power. Brett stepped forward nervously. She was stealing. Reed faced him. Do you have proof? Well, no, but Reed nodded slowly. Then allow me to clarify something for both of you. False accusations, weapon escalation, racially charged harassment. This ends today. The crowd murmured in agreement. A woman nearby spoke up, trembling with anger. I saw the whole thing. She didn't take anything. That man lied. Another shopper chimed in. He went after her for no reason, and he pulled a gun on her. Someone added. Reed turned back to Maya. I'm going to help you file a formal complaint. And you will not be alone in this. Maya swallowed hard. Thank you. But the moment wasn't over. Hale, humiliated, spat. This is ridiculous. I've been on this job for 15 years. You can't just strip my authority because some woman wants to play victim, Reed snapped. He turned fully, stepping into Hale's space with a freezing glare that could cut steel. She didn't play victim. You made her one. And I'm about to make sure she gets justice. The officer clenched his jaw, but he said nothing. Reed signaled to the store's security. Detain him. What? Hala barked. You're suspended pending investigation. And trust me, it will be thorough. Security hesitated, frightened of the officer, but Reed nodded reassuringly. It's okay. Do your jobs. Two guards stepped forward and took Hole by the arms. He struggled at first, frustration boiling over, but eventually he stopped resisting. As he was escorted out, Reed turned back to Maya. "Let's get you somewhere safe to sit." She nodded softly. I still can't believe what just happened." "I know," he said gently. "But you're safe now." The shoppers slowly returned to their routines, but the energy remained heavy, as though everyone knew they had just witnessed something that would replay in their minds for days. Reed guided Maya to a quiet area near the bakery, away from the chaos, offering her a bottle of water. She held it tightly, her hands still shaking. He sat across from her. "I saw the last minute of that confrontation. The moment he pulled his weapon, I knew I had to intervene." "You saved my life," she whispered. He shook his head. "I just did what any decent officer should do." She exhaled shakily. "Thank you." "You don't have to thank me," he said gently. "But you will get justice." "And that manager?" she asked quietly. Reed glanced toward where Brett was being questioned by security. "He'll face consequences, too." Maya looked down at her shaking hands. "This world, sometimes it feels so cruel." Reed leaned forward. "Sometimes. But today, everyone stood up for you. They filmed. They spoke up. They helped." She nodded slowly. "I guess they did." He offered a small smile. "You're strong. Stronger than you know." She finally exhaled, a deep, shaky breath, the first normal breath she'd taken in what felt like years. Outside, sirens wailed, but this time, they weren't coming for her. And for the first time since the gun was drawn, Maya felt something return to her heart. Hope. But hope didn't erase the shaking in her knees. As Maya sat in the small bakery seating area, the quiet hum of the grocery store felt strangely distant, like she was underwater, watching life happen from behind thick glass. Her breath was still uneven, her mind replaying the image of the gun, the metallic dark shape hovering inches from her forehead, the cold command in Officer Hale's voice, the ringing terror in her ears. Agent Reed noticed her stare unfocused, drifting. "Take your time," he said softly. "Shock hits everyone differently." She nodded, but her throat felt tight. I thought I was going to die," she whispered. "Over a can that fell. Over a lie." Reed's eyes darkened with a restrained fury. "People like Officer Hale, they look for targets. They look for control. Today, he picked the wrong person." Maya gave a small, humorless laugh, one that cracked halfway through. "I didn't feel strong." "Strength isn't about feeling fearless," Reed replied. "It's about surviving despite the fear." A long silence settled between them, broken only by the faint whir of the bakery refrigerator and the soft announcement echoing through the store's speakers. Customers passed by, some staring with sympathy, others offering warm smiles or nods that said, "We saw, we support you." A middle-aged woman approached hesitantly, her hands shaking slightly as she held her phone. "Ma'am, I recorded everything. If you need the video, I'll send it to you." "No one deserves what happened to you." Maya blinked back tears. "Thank you," she whispered. Another shopper came by, a teenage girl with a backpack slung over one shoulder. "My mom works in HR," she said nervously. "She said what that manager did is enough to get him terminated. I hope something happens to him." "Something will," Reed promised. "I'll make sure of it." The girl nodded and hurried away, leaving Maya feeling a strange mixture of gratitude and vulnerability. These were strangers, yet they stood beside her more firmly than the officer who was supposed to serve and protect. A sudden thought struck her. "Where's my phone?" she murmured, patting her pockets until she found it in her scrub top. Notifications flooded her screen, missed calls from her sister, texts from coworkers, messages from her neighbor asking if she was safe. Reed gently motioned, "Maybe call a family member. Let them know what happened." She hesitated. I don't want to worry them." "You nearly died," he said softly. "They deserve to know. And you deserve support." His words sank in. Her fingers trembled as she dialed her sister's number. It rang once, twice, then, "Maya. You okay? I just saw a video online. Please tell me you're safe." Hearing her sister's panicked voice nearly broke her resolve. Tears spilled over, her voice cracking. I'm okay. I need you to come here." "I'm on my way," her sister said immediately. "Stay with someone. Don't be alone." "I'm with a federal agent," Maya replied softly. "He helped me." "Good. Stay close to him." When she hung up, Reed offered her a tissue from the counter. "Family coming?" She nodded. "My sister." "Good. You'll need someone tonight." The store lights flickered again, the storm outside beginning to rattle the front windows with soft, rhythmic taps. Rain, wind, a city exhaling after the tension of the moment. Reed checked his watch. Internal affairs will be here soon. They'll want your statement, but I'm going to stay with you until your family arrives. You won't be left alone in this. Maya looked at him, really looked, seeing not just an officer, but a man carrying the weight of responsibility with sincerity. Why did you help me? She asked quietly. Most people would have walked past, or pretended not to see. Reed leaned back, thinking, because I've seen what happens when no one steps in. I've seen lives ruined. I've seen families broken. I made a promise to myself years ago, if I ever witnessed abuse of power, I wouldn't turn away. Not again, not again, she asked softly. His jaw tightened. Another story, another time. Then his voice gentled. Today is about you. Maya wiped her cheeks. I don't want to be on the news. I don't want to be a headline. I just wanted cereal. I just wanted to go home. I know, he said. Sometimes the world forces people into moments they never asked for. But how you handled it, how you stayed composed even with a gun in your face, that matters. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating the glass doors in a stark white glare. For a moment, Maya caught her reflection. Small, tired, shaken, but still standing, still here, still alive. Reed followed her gaze. That's strength, he said quietly. That's you. Maya closed her eyes, letting the weight of everything settle into a single, trembling breath. When she opened them again, she felt something unfamiliar but grounding. A beginning, not of fear, but of reclaiming herself. And when her sister burst through the doors minutes later, running toward her with tears of relief, Maya knew one truth. Hope hadn't just returned. It was growing.